Hey, everyone, and welcome to an SPL match or set. My name is Drybear, and joining me today is F.
Woo.
This feels strange.
This feels anything but strange to me. I feel so comfortable. I mean, this is how I got my start, man.
This is how it all started, man.
Yeah, for real.
This feels weird because you guys have like this really nice set. This isn't my bedroom. It's not really hot in here. It's kind of like a nice, comfortable temperature. Things are working, you know.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of information here. Like this feels comfortable.
And I mean, just to go with the difference of previous casts, you look good.
Oh wow! So it took me how long? 3 years?
Yeah, about 3 years, I guess.
Is this my peak? Am I gonna get any better?
I think you could.
I look pretty sharp.
If you keep watching the SPL and you take notes from people like myself,
That'll know what not to do.
Oh, you're funny. Okay, high five.
So today, guys, we are watching Luminosity versus Eager, and I'm really excited about this mainly because I recognize most of these players. For those of you who don't know who I am one of the designers on Paladins. I haven't really been involved with Smite too much in the last 8 to 10 months or so.
That's what you do.
The last god I remember being released in Smite is Jing 10.
But that's what you do. That's not who you are. You are Drybear. Drybear is one of our original Smite content creators, one of the original community members to actually come on board and work for hi-rez full time. You have as far as your resume is concerned, he's gone casting before. Like I said, my first cast ever was actually next to this guy right here. We've done a number of community tournaments together, and then of course, once I came and was one of the big boys, Drybear was the guy that they made cast with me. So, so it worked out well. We've got a lot of hours in the gym together. I'm excited to get this back going. I don't know.
Yeah.
You undersell yourself a lot, but you've got a number of hours behind the mic, so I think you should be fine.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. So set this up for me. So,
right, so
we got Luminosity and Eager.
Yeah, so Luminosity and Eager, these are two very interesting teams as far as end goal of going to DreamHack. The top three teams from North America and Europe will go to DreamHack, and right now, Eager and Luminosity have looked very, very dominant. They're both battling for that 2 and 3 spot.
Okay. I'm one of the audience here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. How long do we have until we qualify for DreamHack?
Well, so we're in week number 8. There's a total of 11. So we've got just 2 or 3 weeks coming up left. Soar and Enemy are really locked in that 1 to 2
Real
spot.
close.
Everybody understands that these teams are probably going. As for number 3, Luminosity, Eager, even Denial. They have a horse in this race, and they're really trying. Eager has been strong since about week number 2. Luminosity, they've had some issues as far as their roster is concerned, but they've always been positive.
So is this going to be end-all, be-all? Do they have a chance to qualify after this set?
Yes, they definitely do, but we're seeing these teams go head-to-head against each other. Win-loss, obviously, working in opposite directions. And as I said, Luminosity have been very strong in the second half of the season specifically, but something that Adonis always says, you can never count these guys out. I mean, these guys, it's BaRRaCCuDDa, it's JeffHindla. I mean, these guys are legends from the Smite scene.
I mean, they went to Worlds 2 years in a row. I remember that at least. So definitely some of the best players we've ever seen in Smite. And, you know, this game has been evolving a lot, right? And I think coming back into this, I'll share some of the excitement that the fans have shared over Season 3, and that, you know, some of this will be new to me. And so it'll be nice to see what the pros have done with some of those new pieces and some of those new mechanics and put them all together to create something awesome.
Exactly. Our game is very much the same in that it's a lot of the same players, a lot of the same ideas, and a lot of the same passion, but it is very different as far as the execution. It's all about team fight, it's all about synergy, and it's all about the big unit. We'll get into picks and bans and see how these teams combine. It's Luminosity versus Eager.
BaRRaCCuDDa left untouched in the middle of 4, finds the stun. He's going to be focusing Mast to the back line. There goes Stealth, and there goes Mast as well. Triple kill coming up from BaRRaCCuDDa, and Luminosity are looking good to close out game 2. Trying to find the last hit. That's the 3rd kill in a row for andinster. And this is Luminosity. You can't count them out at any stage in the game. Looking for a 3rd, but BaRRaCCuDDa might be able to turn this. Detonate, double kill for the BaRRaCCuDDa.
Alrighty, we're hopping into picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hop off with first few bans here for Team Eager and then going to Luminosity. Now, what are we looking for? What does Eager like to pick?
Eager likes to pick a number of things, really focused around the support role. Sobek and Wheelish is a combination that they brought early on in the season, and since then, it's really just been either Sobek or Kumbhakarna, but really, and you can see Luminosity doing their homework.
Yeah.
Eager has done their homework as well. Luminosity tend to always pick first Thor for andinster.
Now, I'm noticing right away, Sobek has been banned 16% by Luminosity. Is this a targeted ban against Eager?
Very much so. Sobek has actually risen to prominence partially because of Eager's dominance with him.
Cool.
Sobek combined with the Wheelish creates an incredible amount of displacement, and then in the same conversation, Jigs also just has a fantastic Sobek. So because of mainly those two characters and a little bit of Sun Touch over in EU, Sobek has just been a big part of what Smite is.
Thor, Naja banned out. There's Raijin banned out. Now, 2 assassins being picked off here for Eager. Luminosity. Is andinster that scary?
I mean, that's something that you can answer yourself. Andy is still, to be completely honest with you, this has been one of andinster's, this hasn't been his #1 season.
Okay.
And he's still playing at really a top level. And there's that Kumbhakarna that I was talking about from Eager. Really, in the past 5 weeks, if Sobek is banned, Kumbha's the pick. The only thing we've seen Aror play outside of Kumbha or Sobek was a single game of Geb.
Okay, so I'm looking at Kumbhakarna here. Across the way, Luminosity is going to pick up Zeus for their first pick. They have one more pick to make here. Now, when you look at Kumbha, with Sobek out of the game, what do you do to counter Kumbha, and how can you protect yourself against those kind of knockups?
I think it's less about the Kumbha and more about that second word you said, protect.
Okay.
Protect. Forget about the knockups, but protect yourself from, or protect your Zeus. Zeus is still one of the most vulnerable characters on the planet, and coupled with an Athena, that hard taunt can really get Zeus out of trouble.
Now, the beauty of this, right, Athena's going to be able to pop that ultimate from across the map, keep Zeus out of trouble when he gets caught in the mid. I'm seeing a Scylla here from Team Eager. Then we're going to see a Serqet right after. So Serqet, obviously, very mobile, lots of burst damage, can get in, but also kind of sit in the sidelines and be a little stealthier. So it's going to help a lot with the Zeus. But the question is, with Scylla in front and Serqet to the side and Kumbhakarna lurking, can Zeus survive?
Zeus, I mean, that's honestly, a lot of times we'll see these picks and bans go out, and you say no until you actually watch the game. Zeus's positioning, or BaRRaCCuDDa's positioning, has been some of the strongest in the league. And that really is why players like himself and Herwind wind up making the Zeus pick work, almost regardless of what the enemy team selects.
Team Eager picks up Serqet 8% of the time. So this is a surprise pick here. Why would Team Eager want to pick up Serqet?
So that's one of the bigger changes that we've seen with respects to the map itself. With the incoming speed buff that we see, 2 things. Basically, Serqet is one of the characters that djpernicus performs extravagantly on. Coupled with the speed buff, djpernicus has an idea. He wants to get in and out, in and out, in and out. Sure. Nemesis, Serqet, Bastet, these gods that work in and out. Now that the speed buff is here, it opens DJ's god pool just a little bit.
Okay, let me correct myself really quickly. I was misreading the stats. These are actually across the split itself, not necessarily per team. So Serqet, obviously, across the board, 8%, very, very low.
To be fair, though, a lot of those picks are Eager.
Okay. Now look at this as well. I'm seeing a Fenrir across the way, but they're banning out 2 assassins. Is Fenrir going to be playing solo?
Scary D has made a name for himself playing on the Fenrir solo, and andinster is one of those characters where even if Eager made a mistake and that's Fenrir winds up in the jungle, better safe than sorry.
Sure.
Giving Andy the Wheelish, a character he's been very dominant on, or the Hunbats definitely sets Luminosity up for victory.
It feels like not much has changed. If you have 4 assassin bans against Luminosity, previously seen 9 against andinster, seems like it's around the same area. Anhur locked in across the way, they're going to get Ravana, and then is that a Jingwei?
Yes, it is. Jingwei. This is the first week of the SPL that Jingwei will be available. And this is actually very fun because Eager has been leaning on Anhur very, very hard. And you see them select some of their most dominant gods. Kumbha and Scylla have worked out extremely well in the support and mid lane position specifically. And Serqet was extravagant last week. If I'm Luminosity, it looks like, all right, that first pick Anhur that you used to leaning on, it's not there anymore. We're going to sneak it away.
Sure.
If you ask me, Jingwei on Eager, this was Zapman's plan 100% from the get-go.
Has he been practicing Jingwei a lot?
You see him on stream. He streams pretty much all the time on his stream, and he's come out and spoken. Him and Amaterasu specifically has spoken about the good merits of Jingwei.
Sure. So Jingwei, newly released. This is the first week she's playable.
Yep.
Now, F-Dot, walk me through. So I have a long list of hunters to pick from, right?
Sure.
So I can pick anyone I want. Very, very quickly, what is it about Jingwei that I would pick over any other hunter?
Well, honestly, Zapman is generally the character or the player to bring these new characters in. There's that feeling of, I have practiced 20 million hours. Have you? Do you know what to expect? Do you know what to get out of the Jingwei? And also, Jingwei is a character that's very specific, very focused on those basic attacks.
Okay.
And I mean, going back 2, 3, 4, 5 years, this is what Zapman made a career on landing those basics.
He did.
He's going to land the basics in this game, or at least Luminosity hopes he doesn't. Zeus, Athena, Fenrir, Anhur, and Amaterasu for LG. Is it enough to take on Eager and their Kumbhakarna? Let's see as we get into game number 1.
Closing the gap there into the sash. This game was dead even less than 5 minutes ago, and now it's 2 Phoenixes and a triple root from the best. Crush coming through, and that's going to be another kill. Zapman's another triple as well. He will ricochet for a double kill.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 1 of Luminosity versus Eager. This is the spring split, and both these teams are fighting for their chance to go to DreamHack. On the left side, we got blue team Eager, Divios on Ravana, djpernicus on Serqet. TheBest is heading up mid lane with that Scylla. We've got Kumbhakarna, and then obviously Jing on Zapman and Aror in the left lane. Across the way, we've got Luminosity, Scary D on Amaterasu, andinster on Fenrir, TheBoosh, Zeus, JeffHindla, Athena, and then, of course, Anhur, BaRRaCCuDDa. The Fenrir is going jungle.
Yep. So as we said, even with honestly, so that Fenrir pick over there during the picks and ban phase, that's going hopefully to Scary D, but we'll play it by ear.
Sure.
Everybody sees what Eager goes ahead and bans. All right, you wasted all your bans on this jungle. Now it's going to Andy, and we've got a little flexibility. We'll leave the last pick for our solo lane.
It's got to be a great feeling to be a top-tier player, professional player in Smite, and have the enemy team ban 4 of your role in fear that you get something, and you still find a character you can play in your pool.
I mean, it's really fun. We see that not only do we see the target bans coming out when multiple gods, but I like to see when players force lower-end characters in the ban phase. We see Vulcan banned away from Pretty Prime, Bacchus banned away from Sun Touch, and you sort of sit there and go, okay, I guess I'll pick a top tier pick instead of my special mid-range
if I have to. So looking at the items here, the relics are something I'm looking at right away. So I'm noticing that there is 4 purification beans inside of Eager. Luminosity's got 3, a teleport and a shell. It's very common to pick up these right away. So walk me through, what is the meta here? Why do you want to pick up so many purification beans, and why does support not do it?
So the biggest difference from conversation now to yesteryear as far as your relics are concerned is the fact that you only get 1. At level 1, you get a single, and at level 12, you go ahead and pick up again. So you're
locked out until level 12 to get your next one.
Yeah. So a lot of times you see the want to go blink, you see the want to go otherwise, but you just need the purification. When you're against andinster on the wolf, you're expecting
the stun,
that stun.
the pickup from the ultimate.
Exactly.
You got a taunt from JeffHindla. You got a stun from Anhur as well.
That time around, though, nothing happens that andinster wants. djpernicus forces Luminosity off of their own buff and expect to see a lot of invade and aggression coming out from Eager.
Now, already off the bat, it's a little subtle detail I've got, but at the top you can see there's a slight gold lead for Eager. How did this come about?
This really was from what we just saw. Eager heading into Luminosity's jungle. They aggress onto the speed buff. They pick up 2 of the smaller ones, and then once Luminosity is forced out because andinster's so low HP thanks to the aggression, they're able to go ahead and clean that up, and that's where that small little tiny lead comes from.
On the left side, going to pick up Zapman. Going to back off a little bit here. May not be in danger, but that's the last of his mana.
Yeah, he is pretty low mana here with the throwing dagger. Mana is specifically used as defensive or offensive on the enemy player. That's why we see throwing dagger so prominent in the meta. Even on gods where transcendence is perhaps better, throwing dagger is still usually picked up because of the idea you can just split your basic attack strictly for the wave and your mana strictly for the opponent.
Opponent or defense. You saw him kind of get out of there with that danger. So we're looking at Throwing Dagger. How do the hunters, just purely hunter builds, how do the hunter builds evolve from here?
I mean, really, so it largely depends. We've seen a very interesting one with Snoopy where there's no boots. No boots at all.
You can't do that.
Golden Bow, when finished, brings 55 power, which is large. And then combined with the movement speed from Fatalis, it equals the exact 18% that you get out of Warrior Ninja Tabby. So by going this direction, we see teams, or we see players pick up items with passives that are a little bit more appropriate than what you want.
Sure, makes sense. So right side, we see Pern and TheBest heading over. They're going to poke out on some of these little fire minions here. No danger in the solo lane. Serqet's going to be heading back home to pick up some items. Now look at the layout. I'm seeing the wards are starting to fall off a bit. The vision's dropping down. Is this a danger zone?
Yeah, and that's exactly why we see the Serqet shift over to the right side, knowing that the vision's down, is approaching 3 minutes. Those wards don't last that long. So djpernicus comes and makes over the rotation. Divios very, very healthy, and it will actually force Amaterasu out of lane. But with
Fenrir
that
right
teleport
side.
up, totally fine.
Looks like Fenrir's going to jump in here, looking for a little poke damage on Robin, going to force him back just a bit. How long do wards exactly last?
About 3 minutes or so, depending on the situation. But the bigger conversation in the solo lane is really the lack of teleport for Divios. So we saw the Amaterasu get forced out of lane, and no harm, no foul. She's got the teleport; she can come right back. Divios opting for the Wrath, a little bit more brawn, I would say. And if Divios should get pushed out of lane, he's going to have to take the long walk back. So expect djpernicus to be very present in over on the right-hand side.
Perfect. So Best, he's got a lot of health. Actually, top mana. He's got some mana buff rolling here as well. The mid camps just got cleared out. So is there a cycle here for the mid camps? Or are they up? As soon as they're up, you take them.
Yeah, I mean, mid camps are so it's not as dire as it was once upon a time where we saw the choreographed fights, but mid camps definitely still a big source of experience, and so are kills. Scary D goes ahead, but a different conversation with Aurora to the tower.
Scary D in a lot of trouble here. There he goes. Kuma's gonna back out with such a little HP. Now that's a mighty Yeti there. They're gonna back towards the tower. That's actually first blood there for Team Eager. They've got a pretty significant lead here, about 1,400 gold in their favor. And is there gonna be anything they can follow up this with?
Really, realistically, there's nothing except for this speed buff, and that's exactly where DJ goes. Not only does he have the timer, but he also understands that this is the target, but the players are in the way.
Ooh.
Luminosity gets low, but it should be enough of a window for Eager to at least try to attempt this speed buff.
No ultimate on andinster. He doesn't really have that grab. Not really worth coming in. There's the Wrath to take it out. They're going to pick up the speed buff. So he got both speed buffs on the side of Eager. That's not a good grab.
Definitely not, but see, this denial of the blue, the solo lane side of the jungle, this is something that we've seen Suntouch and Dignitas do in a little bit of a cheeky way. They shift their support over with the Wrath. Here, you give your Wrath over to the solo lane, and now it's just this fierce denial of the jungle buffs on the right side of the map, or the solo side of the map, I should say, and that's really where Eager are looking to pressure.
So the Hunters are alone right now. The supports have rotated across the map. Looks like Zapman's going to be heading home. He popped his ability there just to get a little bit more distance in case you get poked down. The last thing you want is to waste time when the waves are coming back. When you're backing back to your base, pick up items, then you lose a little bit of experience in gold.
Again, that's Jing Wei. This is the first time we're seeing her. That's the passive right there.
That's a passive?
Yeah, it's basically a teleport to a tower. As you leave the base, you fly up until this sort of like this space right in between your tier 1 and your tier 2 towers. So
that's pretty cool. Now,
it's very
can she choose where to go?
Yeah, you just fly and you direct it. Right now, djpernicus is going to direct Scary D towards the opposite tower. Scary D answers in kind with an ultimate, and here comes Aurora.
Now, you look at Scary D, he was the first blood victim. He's dropping really low here. It'd be a huge detriment for him to go down, and there goes the kill. It does go to Aurora, but that's a good, actually, it looks like both the kills, first blood and second blood, went to the Yeti.
No surprise there. Very, very aggressive, active support is Aurora. And this is exactly what Eager are looking for in this matchup. Ravana is a character that, sure, he does very well from ahead as opposed to from behind, because his whole gimmick...
A 10 head?
Sure. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's got 10 heads. But Divios on this Ravana, his whole goal is to be behind enemy lines and just sort of punch you out. And you can't do that if you're behind or even. So Eager really trying to force this lead on the right side of the map.
TheBernicus, he's going to back off, go back to the mid camps. Look at the player damage, though. You see 3,300 player damage done by Ravana, 1,800 by Serqet, and almost entirely in the solo lane, right?
Exactly. Like I said, this is the specific plan from Eager. Not only will this attention to the short lane really empower Divios to do what he wants, walk in, steal buffs with Wrath, steal lives if combined with the jungler, as djpernicus picks up number 3 for Eager, but also due to the lack of teleport, Divios is in a position that he cannot be pushed out of lane. So Eager helps him out, shows attention to this side of the map, and now you're in a spot where your solo laner is a level and a half above the opposition, and now Divios can flex, can transport, can transport the map, and just wind up on top of the opposition.
Very scary position to be in here for Luminosity. Now, just jumping into Scary D's position on Amaterasu, what can I do to get back? I mean, I'm sure plenty of you out there have been in this situation. You've been playing solo lane, you're getting ganked by jungle, the support's across the map. What can you do to get back in the game? I
mean, Amaterasu doesn't really win lane until about now. Amaterasu is in a situation where her ability doesn't clear the wave until about level 8, level 9, depending. So now is really where she's expected to come online. If you talk to the pros, it's less about always winning your lane and more about losing your lane gracefully.
So on the right side, getting poked back to the tower. We can see them grouping up in the mid lane. Wards are back up. 3 minutes on those wards. Going to keep her vision safe. The items haven't progressed too far. Boots being done. Doom Orb being picked up by TheBest. Is this a cocky thing?
Not necessarily. Doom Orb. So, you know what? I won't give you a hard no on that. So Doom Orb, at the beginning of Season 3, Doom Orb was the absolute way to go. It's the only option.
Sure.
Now we've seen a little bit of an evolution of the build, where players start off with the Dynasty Plate Helm, which is just cheap, efficient, easy stats, plus a little bit of protection.
Got the penetration on there?
Yep.
Sure.
The penetration is the key, plus a little bit of protection. But for Scylla, I mean, Scylla has one job and one job only. You saw, you know that Best can wind up with these quadra kills.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's looking for on this Scylla specifically.
Alrighty, so you see the mid lane being pushed out. At this point, do we start looking for a Gold Fury in the next few minutes?
It definitely depends. If I'm Eager, so here's the situation. Eager has the leg up, and they're better posed to take the fight at the Gold Fury. But there's a Zeus, man. At the end of the day,
Zeus juice.
Yes, that's the power of this pick. BaRRaCCuDDa puts himself in a very awkward situation as Aror pops the purification to get out of andinster's mouth.
He's perfectly fine.
Yeah, without a doubt. BaRRaCCuDDa puts himself in a vulnerable spot picking the Zeus. But just by having Zeus on the field, if he's alive with a blue diamond next to his name, you can't realistically aggress onto an objective safely.
Zeus is my man. I'd love to see him rock some worlds here. And obviously, Luminosity would love to see it as well. They're about 3,000 gold behind at the 10-minute mark. It's 3-0, and a lot of that's on Scary D. So, I guess looking at this lineup here for Luminosity, how much do they rely on Amaterasu getting a lot of gold, or can they do without?
It's totally fine. Scary D's character selection versus Divios's are two very different sides of the planet. Divios, like I said, Eager really needs to put him ahead, allow Divios to play this Ravana, be in the enemy's front face, just do whatever. Scary D, on the other hand, he wants to deal damage and get inside the enemy zone, but it's really more about the aura that Amaterasu brings, whether it's the power aura or the movement speed aura. Amaterasu is more of a utility character than a straight-out brawler like Ravana.
Do you ever go to fight the blue buff if you're Scary D? Do you just give it up the rest of the game?
At this point, I say maybe if there isn't a Wrath in the hands of Divios, but the fact that there is an instant kill your buff button, no.
Well, I mean, at this point, right, you want to kind of stop the bleeding. If you're playing in the solo lane, actually, really any spot on the map, if you are behind on gold, you're behind on experience, you want to catch that gap up for the next time you have a really big team fight. So when you're Scary D, you want to sit in the back, stay safe in the tower, don't round those tight corners where you get caught out, and hope that you can get that gold gap up and keep that farming going.
And Scary D is at the point now, being level 10 on Amaterasu, where his reflection, the mirror damage, will one-shot the wave. So he can go sit on the tower, twiddle his thumbs, hang out. Yeah, see,
so cool.
That's Zapman on the Jing Wei.
Oh, man.
So this Jing Wei, let's break down this character a little bit, since it seems we have a little lull in the action. Scratch that, speed buff will be spawning soon, which means Pernicus is over here. But see, that's the response from Luminosity. They show up 3 members deep to try and secure it.
Did he get it?
And Divios does not.
He did not get it. That was close.
But so that's the adaptation. Luminosity show up with 3 members to defend.
Sure.
And because Eager adapts further, 3 members confirmed on the right side of the map.
Gold
Let's
Fury
pick up
goes.
gold. Eager gets it, no problem.
That was close. I mean, you saw that BaRRaCCuDDa there come in. He was a good ultimate. It was safe. He's CC immune during that channel. He wants to make sure he burns it down. Desert Fury, good pickup. Maybe got it, maybe not, but it's worth the effort. So the Gold Fury will go to Eager. At this point, you've got a pretty significant lead. 4,400 experience down at the bottom of your screen. You see in favor of blue. 5,000 gold in favor of Eager as well. And so at 11.5 minutes, we have 3-0. Now remember, this is a 2-game set, but in the beginning, it's really hard to play from behind as Luminosity.
And it'll be interesting, but with that thought, I mean, you do have the Zeus, and you do have the Amaterasu, who function pretty well during the late game. Especially, so on the other side of things, you've got the Serqet, which does very well late game, and the Jing Wei, which we have yet to really see, but is just as far as the character build is concerned, I actually think Jing Wei winds up being a very strong late game hunter.
Some poke damage between the warriors on the right side. I say warrior, but it's Amaterasu. Now, looking at the builds here, there's a subtle difference between the 200 builds. I see Ninja Tabi and I see Warrior Tabi. Why would Jing Wei want Ninja Tabi and why would Anhur want Warrior Tabi?
So, I mean, when it comes to the different types of boots, normally the only difference we see is the Shivalanke, who will build into the Ninja Tabi, expecting some amplified damage from the passive.
Sure.
Now, with Jing Wei, this is more, and, I haven't spoken to Zapman just yet, and this is the first time we're seeing this character, but Jing Wei has an ability that gives herself crit, guaranteed. Well, guaranteed crit chance, per se.
Easy enough.
So by amplifying that attack speed, you'll get those 3 explosive bolts off just a little bit faster.
Now looking at the supports, we've got that sovereignty done on both sides, and it looks like Auror's going to be picking up the next aura item to defend his team up there. Some penetration up on Serqet with the Jotun's Wrath, and going into more penetration.
Yeah, just penetration is going to be the name of the game here for djpernicus, as far as letting his non-ultimate damage, mainly the Deathbane, do the work. When it comes to the ultimate, I mean, it's true damage, it's neither here nor there. But here, this allows DJ to just get more consistent damage off with his regular abilities.
Okay. Amaterasu, educate me. Magic damage, physical damage?
Physical.
Okay, so you look across the way, you pick up on Divios on Ravana. He went straight into Breastplate of Valor. He's got some cooldown reduction on that. He's got some mana on that, but he also has some physical protections. Across the way, you have what looks like a 3-2 split, but he's not really worried about the damage from Athena, right? So Athena, Zeus, magic damage. You got Fenrir physical, Amaterasu physical, Anhur physical. So now he is basically more impervious to damage from Anhur if he rotates, but more than likely the damage from the jungle rotation and from Amaterasu. So what this really did, that was the last nail in the coffin, right?
Yep.
There's no way for SCaryD to get a kill in this lane anymore.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, 12, 13 minutes, even getting a kill onto Amaterasu with the meditation will be difficult. Luminosity adjusts even further, this time committing 4 players onto the speed buff. Eager definitely not able to pick that one up.
It looked like Aror actually put to sleep JeffHindla right when the taunt came out and canceled it. That taunt didn't come off, so it's really unique to see that happening. SCaryD standing his ground, forcing an Athena ultimate. That looked to me like a waste.
I mean, it could be, but don't forget the damage reduction coming out from the ultimate out of JeffHindla. You're immediately taking 25% less damage than you might have been, so that commitment...
The dunk. Ooh. Anderson's going to jump out there. It was a good grab, and actually, this isn't so bad. It's not always bad to not get the kill. You force them home, you waste their time, you get their gold out. It's a good pickup.
I mean, that's definitely the key. Andinster cannot be a part of this fight, which means Luminosity's ability to find a target, pick them off, bring them into damage specifically from the BaRRaCCuDDa is just not there. And neither is the mid lane tower, as Eager uses the space that they've created with that play to take out the mid lane.
Gold Fury is almost back up. Looks like about a minute left on that one. 15 minutes in the game, 3-0. No kills, actually, since SCaryD dropped 3 times in a row. And it looks like Luminosity is really trying to just stop the bleeding, right? Even you saw with that thin ultimate from JeffHindla. He knew there's a likelihood that SCaryD would have survived that engagement, but they can't afford to lose another kill to Eager. So they gotta spend the resources.
And it's tough. I mean, Eager are some of the highest kills as far as the individual players are concerned. I mean, Zapman, he's the number 2 hunter in kills in the entire, and in North America, he's the number 1 player with respects to kills.
That's not a small title.
No.
By the way. Number 1 in kills in North America is not a small title.
So I mean, he's number 2 in his position, number 1 in North America, and he would be number 1 in the world, but he trails by 3 kills to Emilito. Zapman has 2 games to take number 1 away from Emilito.
It seems like Zap is just slacking. Because he's got room here to take this out. Now, obviously, level 17, he's got a farm lead over BaRRaCCuDDa. He's got a good chance to set that up for this game.
Yeah, and this has been a very quiet game with respect to that long lane. Like I said, it's by design. Eager has paid attention to the solo lane so much, knowing that Divios wasn't going to have a teleport until level 12. He's got the Wrath, and the idea behind that is to catapult that solo lane into a position of dominance. Now, my problem here for Eager, if I have to find one, as they're up 7,000 gold, is the fact that Divios has taken this lead. There are 2 levels above as far as the solo lane is concerned, but we haven't really seen much happen because of it.
Sure. Yeah, you see Divios take out the right side. You see catapult into the solo lane. There it goes. Looking at this lineup, we know that Eager is poised to take a really strong team fight here. What I want you guys to do at home, if you're watching, just shout out each one of Zapman's kills up to 3 so that he can take that number 1 spot. So every time Zapman gets a kill, let's go ahead and shout out 1, 2, or 3. Auror's pushing the front line here, some damage coming out from Zeus.
No surprise here. This is exactly what Auror's known for. The turnaround knockup, and there's the follow-up with Scylla immediately into the Sanctuary, and then Andinster one more time finds himself alive, but just barely.
I was, he absorbed a lot of damage there. Andinster forced a lot out. Actually, looks like only 1 ultimate used on the side of Luminosity, so they do have a good spot. And in the back of their minds, they're thinking, Gold Fury's up, we got to be ready.
And that's exactly what Eager's going to go ahead and do. BaRRaCCuDDa launches the ultimate in an attempt, but Eager take the second Gold Fury of the game. And now they're looking for a little bit more, so Luminosity tries to turn on their heels, but djpernicus is going to get out of there, no problem. And here comes Zapman, aggressive as always.
There's 1.
That's 1 kill for the Zapman.
There's 1. Oh, going up in the air, going to drop back down here, looking for some damage. He's going to play a little bit safe. There's the Andinster ultimate, not on Jing Wei. Some huge damage coming down. There goes Amaterasu one last time. And we have 3 on defense for Luminosity. The Gold Fury's in favor of Eager. It's not looking good.
Not at all, Drybear. 18 minutes or just shy of it. Eager are 6 kills up in what is a shutout so far versus Luminosity, almost finding themselves 10,000 gold up. And after that last exchange, Eager just took everything to the cleaners.
This is a really cool feature. Look at this team fight recap. We got 2 kills inside of Eager, 2,100 gold. Obviously, 1,500 of that has become because of the gold fury, and then 5,700 damage. The damage is actually pretty even, but Zapman's got a lot of damage output here.
Yeah, and this is what has been a big part of why Eager has been so successful. Zapman has always been one of the larger names in Smite. Season 2, a little bit quiet, but Season 3, he's been anything but.
Divios gets taunted, damage from Zeus. He's dropping low, goes up in the air. Divios is down. This could be an opportunity for Luminosity to kind of push the front line. Auror's dropping low. We have an ultimate ready for Scylla and an ultimate ready for Kumbha, so they have some defense on their side. We're going to see djpernicus actually flank to the left side, try to peel them away from the mid tower. It's not going to be that great, though.
And I love that play. djpernicus has the mobility on Serqet coupled with the speed buff to distract just a little bit. Luminosity, too disciplined and too veteran in their gameplay to be distracted. Turn around, pick up a tier 1 tower, putting 500 gold on their side of the coin.
You know, there's a lot of gold on the map, right? It's kind of just like a bank. You have to just withdraw that gold when you're going across. So when you're sitting behind as a team, the best thing you could do is play it safe, don't give any kills, and look for objectives. That's exactly what Luminosity has done here. They got the mid tower down. That's 500 gold across the board for their team. It's just that much closer to coming back.
And more importantly, make the plays despite the fact that you're down. Luminosity are down 10,000 gold. I think you can point to a lot of teams, maybe even in the SPL, that just sort of hang their heads, throw up the towel, but Luminosity understand 10,000 gold is not a death sentence in a competitive setting. We still have to find the objectives. We still have to find what we could do. Luminosity turn a single kill on their side of the map into a tier 1 tower right in the middle.
It's the classic story of the turtle and the chunga rabbit, right? You want to play the fast race, you want to play the slow race, but we know that the tortoise can win in those situations. You have to be very careful, very focused, and it's really just you go down to a micro level, right? You look macro, you try to get as much gold as you can, but you go down to micro level and say, okay, I can't lose 100 gold here. Sure. I can't lose 1,000 gold there. And as long as you start doing that, you can make that gap up. All it takes is one bad team fight from Eager, and you can come back in the game.
And again, this is the sort of adaptation that the veteranship of Luminosity gives them the opportunity to do. Eager have been stripping away the jungle completely for the entire time. We saw 3 players commit to the speed buff about 10 minutes ago, and it wasn't enough. So now Luminosity have been committing 4 players to this red and the speed buff, ensuring that they get not just the buff, but more importantly, the experience and the gold for those buff camps.
Now, obviously, we're high in the teens now for character levels. We're looking at, we passed level 12. We picked up those second round of relics. I'm looking at 2 blinks on the side of Eager. We see Aurora, which makes sense. He wants to blink and pop that ultimate. But, Serqet, why does djpernicus run blink here?
It just allows Serqet, so mainly, Deathbane is a movement ability, but you want to use it offensively. Now, it's quite a different story for Ambush. That, sure, it does damage, it does your passive, but realistically, it's a slow mechanism to get the hell out of danger. It's exactly why we see the blink on a Wheelish. Yeah, a Wheelish can totally jump into the problem. But then how does she get out? By using Blink. Now, same thing on Kali. You use Blink to get in, and then when the enemy escapes or you get in trouble, your jump is still available to exit or go further.
You use the least safe one first, and then use the safer one to get out. You guarantee that escape. It's an in and out. It makes perfect sense. We've got some damage buff on Zeus here, damage buff on Zapman. So they're actually giving a lot of leeway here to Mr. Zapmeister, getting that damage out. Looks like they're getting ready to push this left side tower.
There's a 1-2 punch out of the Aurora and the mid lane combination, and there's the Zeus, and the ultimate should send everybody packing. That's exactly what we see. Eager on the retreat now. Luminosity coming down the lane, looking for more.
Guan Yu gets a really great, Amaterasu gets a great ultimate coming in there. A little joke from old times. Aurora's down on the ground. If he survives this, it might be a good trade, but it's not going to be. Down it goes 1 for 1, but andinster falls in the jungle.
So important that Divios
look at djpernicus' health.
Kill. Divios just stops. He plays bodyguard to DJ. Yep.
That's like as close as you could have been to bodyguard, right? It's like almost and didn't is the same thing, but you barely did, right? So he managed to get over the fight. We see 1 kill on either side, a 1-for-1 trade, but obviously you trade your support for their jungle. That's a great trade in favor of Eager. 400 gold to 521, not really a huge deal on the gold. The damage definitely higher on Luminosity, but I would say Eager won that fight.
Really, it's really just about the answer back. Eager make a bad decision, or what turns into a bad decision because of the aggressive nature of Luminosity. Again, having the wherewithal to understand that you can fight into that situation. So Luminosity gets aggressive, and Eager have to adapt. If they don't find that kill, that's a bad spot. By answering up, all things are even.
They're going for the Gold Fury here. Let's see if Luminosity wants to try and take it. Some good crit damage in. There goes the crush. There goes the hit. He pulls it away. Does he take it? Luminosity takes the Gold Fury away from Eager in front of their faces. That is incredible.
No zoning coming out from Eager right there. Just the audacity to go ahead and take that Gold Fury in front of Luminosity was a little bit much. Like I said, Eager needed somebody to zone. By allowing Luminosity to stay as local as they were to that objective, well, that's exactly what you get.
You know, it's one of those, life lessons, right? You can stay positive in the face of adversity, and there's a lot you can accomplish, right? Your mental state, your mood, the way you're thinking about the situation can change a lot. And in those situations, I think a lot of teams would say, okay, we can't get this Gold Fury, there's no way. But BaRRaCCuDDa, razor focused on the Gold Fury, trying to get an opportunity. The second he realized that Crush was down, then you saw that Sikkim was down. You saw the punch was down from Ravana. They had no abilities left. He's like, okay, my turn. He punches Ravana out. This was brilliant. He impales him through the Gold Fury, knocks him out of the range, pulls it back to his team, secures it. That was brilliant play.
Exactly. Just really from the top down. Roar blinks in, grabs two with the Mez. Can't find much of anything. I'm honestly just looking at the lack of a timer on that Wrath, though. Divios did not use the Wrath, and that might have been what turns the Gold Fury in the other direction.
7-2, 24 minutes on the board. We've still got a 9,000 gold lead in favor of Eager. It's still not looking great. Now, looking at itemization for Scary D, why would you want to pick up 2 Tier 1 items back-to-back?
It's just about the efficiency of some of these items, giving you the small amount of stats that they will. Right here on the left side. Again, speed buff stolen away from djpernicus. Just the DJ special. BaRRaCCuDDa locked up in a corner. Sanctuary applicated, as well as the ultimate from Jeff. Will it be enough? He's already half HP in the turnaround, but Andy's going to drag one away.
And
the best finds the kill.
Oh, 2 dunks. Doesn't get that one down. Confirmed. Zeus double kill. TheBest did pick out the boost in the meantime. Double kill for TheBest as well, so both mages were able to pick up a kill. Zapman did pick up a kill on that last end. Is that 2? Is Zapman getting closer and closer to being world number 1? They're going to push the right side tower. The jungle camps are down, and it's looking like Eager, with Zapman in the mix, we're going to be able to take this tower out.
So that's a very sweet play that Zapman pops right there. He drops his wand on the floor, the Persistent Gust, and it actually gives you an attack speed buff for 7 seconds. So that allows himself to just pile on the damage on top of that tower.
Zapman's going to head on home. We have a Frostbound Hammer on Robin just to slow people down and secure that. 3 for 2 in favor of Eager. You can see they got about double the amount of gold, getting closer to double amount of the experience, and they've got a little bit more damage out of that fight. Luminosity not out of it yet, but 10,000 gold is the threshold where we start to say, okay, they're definitely down on their luck. They have an opportunity here, but it's not a big one.
All of the success that Luminosity have had in this later part of the game has happened 10,000 gold down, though. Whether it was stealing away the Gold Fury, winding up on top of some of these team fights, give or take. Luminosity, again, their veteranship, they're just the ability they can. This is where experience actually counts. We've seen Enemy perform extravagantly well, really off of the back of Pain to Beyond and Chaos, who isn't a rookie, but not as tenured as some of these players, and 3 rookies who have just barely seen the Pro League. This is where the experience matters. When you're down 10,000 gold, knowing which fights that you can take, which fights you can't take, that's really where Luminosity shines. So, again, to borrow an old phrase from Kevin, you can never count Luminosity out.
When you look at it, too, I mean, a lot of that's just failing a million times, right? If you played enough, you failed enough, it really kind of secures it. There goes actually a forced ultimate from Fenrir, and andinster are going to come back around, but not going to use it there. So now I'm looking at Amaterasu's build. Why so much defense? Is that normal? Yeah,
I mean, she's a solo lane warrior. Her entire job is to be frontline. Both of these solo laners are just there to protect not just the Zeus, but the entirety of the team. Look for that ultimate, not as an initiation out of Scary D, but more as appeal factor for the Zeus.
So I noticed that Scylla's on her way up to what I imagine is a BaRRaCCuDDa. Do things change when that gets activated?
I mean, yeah, she does more damage. It's the classic BaRRaCCuDDa is really that spot where your mage starts. All right, your mage was already swinging. Now your mage is swinging with both fists.
Well, you got Serqet picking up the Deathbringer, and then crits, obviously, with Deathbang. Deathbang will trigger those crits on the dash. That's a really big pickup for her, and that damage is going to really shine through when you get some squishy targets like BaRRaCCuDDa by themselves, or even the BooSh, right? BooSh on Zeus, if he gets caught by himself, he's in a lot of trouble.
Which is fun, because normally, I wouldn't even say normally. In Season 3, we've seen the shift from Deathbringer to Malice largely as Eager team backs here. Because Malice just winds up being mathematically more DPS. But djpernicus knows the reality of what the difference between theoretics and in practice. And so what happens with djpernicus with this Deathbringer online, he'll actually do more burst damage with the Deathbringer than he would with the Malice. And that's exactly what he's looking to do. He's looking to burst players down and bring them almost 100 to 0 in a very short amount of time.
Looking at BaRRaCCuDDa, though, he's going to pick up Soul Reaver. Now, obviously, Soul Reaver, great for a single target. It gives you the extra burst of damage. And, you know, when you're behind, picks are everything. And so it's a really great pickup to try and focus on getting that single pick that sets the team fight in your favor.
Yep.
Now, is this a deviation from his build, or is he just running the same gambit?
Honestly, with Zeus's, it depends. With BaRRaCCuDDa, I mean, different build every day. But the Soul Reaver specifically on Zeus has been very successful because we've seen people build very defensively on Zeus. I'm talking breastplate plus, and then you couple that with the Soul Reaver, and you don't need to have as much power as you normally do. BaRRaCCuDDa is just going to take it to the bank, and he's got the Soul Reaver passive. Plus, don't forget, it gives you 100 power.
Awesome.
This Zeus is just looking to go absolutely ham.
Looks like Fire Giant has been started here for Eager. Nice taunt coming out. Some damage coming. You're watching from Zeus's perspective. There's a big crit. Aurora looking for the dunk. Scylla's there in time. Going to get the dunk. And there goes the boosh. The big dunk for Scylla. She's looking for number 2. Can she pick it up? Nice dash. Ooh, juked out there at the last second by JeffHindla. There goes the root. There goes the bit. And then Zapman number 3. That is the 3rd kill. I'm hoping we're not wrong on that one.
Nope, that's number 3. Zapman is now tied for the most
there it
kills.
is. 303.
Tied for the most hunter kills in the world. If he gets one more, he will take that spot away from Emilito as the most killingest hunter in the SPL. You like that word? Killingest?
Killingest. That's the best.
No, the best is
not
on
the best.
The best is on Eager.
He's already on Eager. Okay, I get it. I get it.
I
understand.
We've been telling that joke. Oh man, XYZ is the best. Nope, the best is on Dignitas.
The best is on Dignitas. Now he's on Eager.
We've been telling that joke for like 3 years now.
It's still funny.
It's still funny.
It's still funny.
It will never not be funny, honestly.
You know what's not funny? Fire Giant on Team Eager with a strong 14,000 gold lead coming down in the mid. Phoenix pushing it up. Aurora's driving the back line, and there goes the Phoenix to fall down. Easy. That was an easy pickup. Now mid lane's going to push all the way up. It's interesting that they chose middle lane, but middle lane, obviously, they have to keep an eye on it. It's really just about the upkeep. The fact that fire minions are streaming down means their minions will not be able to hold it on their own. They need God's support, and because of that, they're going to be splitting their team fights.
And the reason we saw them in the reason we saw Eager take the mid lane was, one, a little bit the minions were there, so they had that opportunity available to them. Left and right lane were very pushed up, so just not as available. Best will now start picking up this red buff. It's that time of the game where he is just swinging like a truck.
So I'm a noob here, and because of that, I'm just going to start making up my own names for things I don't recognize.
That's what I do every day.
So why is Zapman and BaRRaCCuDDa both going for the Blood Shuriken of Doom?
So the Blood Shuriken of Doom is actually really exciting. This has been an item that actually changed in our one of the most recent patches.
Okay.
We'll say it safely. Basically, what it does. Just look at that passive.
Whoa.
Forget about everything. 20% amplification on your movement and
attack speed.
So a character that's already built rage like Zapman, a character that just leans heavily on these crits. This is your 3rd crit item on a character with a crit amplification built into her and explosive bolts. Zapman's looking for the old 100% crit chance.
So basically, he was better, and now he's more better.
Yeah.
That's a great pickup. And obviously, it seems like their situations are about the same between Anhur and Jing, but we'll see what that really means in a team fight situation. Anhur still very high burst damage, a lot of single target. The left side tower will fall. This is the last tower for Luminosity. 16,000 gold in the lead, folks. Eager is barreling down the left side of the map, and it's not looking great.
I love how djpernicus is going to keep andinster in check here, heading up to the mid lane by himself. This keeps the enemy spaced out, and more importantly for Eager, allows djpernicus to figure out exactly where the BaRRaCCuDDa is sitting so that he can either be picked off or shoved out of the conversation while Zap and the rest of Eager look specifically at the Phoenix.
There goes the ultimate. Best is up. There goes the dunk and take out the BaRRaCCuDDa. Oh, he's dropping low. They might be able to pick up. There goes the Aegis able to save his life, and he'll get out of the fight. All hunky-dory. Andinster going back to the well, but at this point, Luminosity has to band together.
Yeah, Shell has been popped to avoid some of the damage that Eager's able to dish out, but Phoenix still largely alive, 80% or better. Aurora half HP, going to be forced out of the backside. Divios, on the other hand, still aggressive as always. djpernicus jumps out, very low is Scary D, but he's got help from JeffHindla, and he's going to come forward. Divios gets hit, very low, 25%, but the turnaround from Eager, they're all looking at Jeff, and djpernicus on the backside takes out Scary D.
Zapman up in the air, there goes the bombardment, forcing Andinster. He's looking for number 4. Is this going to be it, ladies and gentlemen? It is going to be it. Number 4 for Zapman. First in the world for Hunter kills, and for good reason. Luminosity falls 3-0 in that exchange, 15-4, and Eager is looking to end this.
404 Hunter is certainly found. Zapman has been a big part of not just this game, but the success of Eager throughout the entirety of Season 3. Jeff gets a great taunt, and it's going to wind up being 2 kills for the side of Luminosity, and now Eager only 3 players strong. This Titan push seems a little bit more far-fetched than when they first walked in with 5 members.
Great Aegis to stop the crush there. Dropping the Sikkim, grabs him. Looking for the damage is going to be Divios. Can't exactly find it. So an excellent taunt by JeffHindla to slow down this push. 15-6. The Fire Giant is about up in about a minute. Goldfear will be coming up soon. So what can they do to get back into this?
Luminosity?
Luminosity.
Really, their goal is to just, at the moment, there is no plan to win. Their plan is to not lose. They have to, which sounds like a John Maddenism, but bear with me. They have to mitigate.
Is this great football?
Sure. They got to mitigate the fireman is coming down the lane. They got to take care of their Phoenixes first, and that's how they make sure they don't lose. Sure. And then the next step is trying to win, which is largely off of the next objective dance around the Fire Giant. Both teams, yes, there is a drastic gold lead, but we are close to, if not at the point, where the gold lead just doesn't matter. So Luminosity can fight into these Eager situations. They can take Eager head on, apply directly to the forehead, and go ahead and try and find the win.
So you look across the way, you know, as soon as everyone has 6 items, the gold doesn't matter anymore. It's really just consumables at the point, like you mentioned. So Luminosity, they're about 1 item off on some characters. Obviously, BaRRaCCuDDa already up there on the 6-item spring, which is exactly what you need, right?
Oh, yeah.
You really need Zeus and Anhur to be maxed out. The rest of them, it's not negligible, but it's damn near close to it. The Fire Giant's being picked up here by Eager. Luminosity not in position to take it. They had to defend their mid-Phoenix. This is what I was talking about earlier. You have to make sure those Phoenixes don't go down.
Exactly, and that's what I was mentioning towards. Luminosity can't really make that play. They can't make the win play on the Fire Giant because they have to make the not lose play on their own lanes. They have to make sure that these Phoenixes respawn because don't forget, the Titan becomes more powerful with those Phoenixes up.
So you look at Anderson's build here. He's got a lot of defense, but he also has what I'm going to say is the green backpack of excellence.
Oh, yeah. Genji's Guard, this is a lot of fun.
That's not a backpack at all.
Basically, well, depends. If you are strong enough to be carrying your team, it actually puts you in a great position. As you take magical damage, it reduces your cooldowns by 2 seconds like Guandash. So you're just able to dish out more and more in the Fenrir's case, stunned. And this is not a surprise. Routinely, we see Fenrir transition from an assassin into more of a warrior frontline character as the game gets later and later.
Okay, and then across the way, we've got Ravana, a lot of defensive slows, and the last one...
The blue build.
The blue build.
Yep, he's
is that a golden pair?
That is the old Fist of the Gods in a mantle. It's Mantle of Discord. If you're brought below 30%, you auto-stun people around you. It's really fun. It's engaging and dynamic. There's going to be andinster underneath the Phoenix. He's going to grab 1. Meanwhile, a different fight completely on the right side. Eager going for it.
So andinster ult is down. That's basically the only one we've got right here. They're setting up for the mid Phoenix is already down. Left Phoenix is about to respawn. Right Phoenix is in danger, and they're splitting their numbers here. Eager knows they have the advantage, and they know either you go for Serqet. Serqet blinking on top of andinster here on the left side, looking for a poke and to force him back to his well. Athena ultimate got forced.
And again,
oh man!
Again, that 25% damage reduction is so important. It was forced out, and I use the term forced specifically because without that Athena ult, that might be a dead dog.
So Luminosity, the gold doesn't matter, the experience doesn't matter,
crit.
The morale matters, and they're setting up for this defense on their Titan. 2 Phoenixes down, and the right one's in danger.
I love that play from DJ on the dog. As soon as Seething Howl comes out, DJ jumps away, anticipating the damage output from the Fenrir with the steroid up. Eager going to turn around and face Luminosity right here. Scary D very low. Up in the air goes Zapman. Can't find anybody with the ultimate.
That was risky, too. He could have got caught out. Andinster in trouble. Here comes the dunk. Oh, the juke. Andinster, he's just looking to distract, and this is a great play. He knows he's dead. He's going to juke away again, but he's just wasting djpernicus' time.
And DJ, realistically, he's looking for those picks. Those are the kills that DJ wants to find. So, sure, Fenrir is keeping DJ's Serqet out of the fight, but Serqet is keeping Fenrir from going back to the well, healing up, and dealing damage onto his team of his own. So both junglers occupying each other's time, and there's Divios off of the assist of the mid lane crush, finds a kill onto the BaRRaCCuDDa.
Knock up, JeffHindla's down. There goes the kill on BaRRaCCuDDa. This looks like the last line in sinker. Andinster dropping low. There goes the kill. Zapman with a double kill in the last set. Scary D back to his well, but he should be scared for his Titan as the Titan will fall. Game number 1 in the set of Luminosity versus Eager in the spring split is going to go to Eager.
And that's going to go ahead and tie Eager up with Luminosity as far as the wins are concerned. Eager now sits 12-5, where Luminosity sits 12-8. And with that loss, Luminosity will actually slip to number 4.
So they are tied for wins. So they're able to hold that. Now, Luminosity losing game 1. What does their path look like if they win the next one?
If Luminosity win the next one, honestly, their next couple of games on the schedule aren't too easy. They're not too hard. It's really, really just about Luminosity keeping their foot on the gas.
Well, it seems like it. Eager had a great game there. They showed that they had good mechanics. They were able to hold the early game. Zapman didn't overextend very much at all. He sat in that lane. He farmed. In fact, most of the time, he started getting 2, 3, 4 levels ahead of everyone around him. He was able to get that lead against BaRRaCCuDDa. Now, BaRRaCCuDDa never lost his game face. He obviously stole that gold away. That's a big pickup. But, going into game 2, we're going to look a lot at Scary D in that solo lane. That's kind of where it all started, right? First blood, second blood, and third blood was all Amaterasu. So what do you draft as Luminosity knowing that?
Well, you got to take a look at what why Divios was able to have the lead that he was, and a lot of it came from just the attention, both jungle and solo over there, and of course the Wrath certainly was a big deal. So if I'm Luminosity, I am adjusting my game plan specifically with the solo lane, maybe